The Democratic candidate, this is the Cincinnati, Ohio, is right here, the Cincinnati suburbs, if you will, the Democrat doing it there. And if in a close race where you're winning only 5,600, I mentioned the urban areas, I mentioned the suburbs. Andy Beshear also did very well out here. Just a little bit of history. Eastern Kentucky, look at these rural counties. You might say, oh, that's not that much blue, but it's more blue than 4 years ago. You had a Democratic candidate who went out into what has always been rural, used to be Democratic country, then it became Republican country. Now we call much of it Trump country because it's so important to the President of the United States. If you look at Donald Trump's map in 2016 in the presidential race, you're all red out here. Well, the Democratic candidate for governor tonight went out and competed in small rural counties too. So a complete race, if you will, for Andy Beshear, who again goes to bed tonight, a little hoarse after that big speech and believing he wakes up the Democratic governor-elect.
John, can you talk to me about Mississippi and the gubernatorial race there? Any developments?
Sure. Well, I can take you down there. That is one that the Republicans feel good about because if you look at the vote count, this has been consistently done all night long. Sometimes races bounce around, especially close races bounce around. This one has been about a 10-point race, whether we're 10%, then 20% and up. 80% of the vote in now. The Republican Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves with a comfortable lead here, 54% to 45% if you do the rounding there. If you look at the map, there's nothing terribly extraordinary about this meaning that in Democratic areas like Jackson, Mississippi, where the capital is, Rankin County, you have Hinds County over here. Sorry, I hit the wrong county. You have the Democrat winning quite big. So the Democrats are winning where you think the Democrats would win, but the Republicans running it up. The only thing I would say about this is, again, at a time when we are seeing Democrats outperform prior races during the Trump ages, in the Kentucky governor's race, most likely leading to a victory. In Virginia, the Democrats rebounding. That state has been moving more and more blue in the legislative races. The Republican is ahead here in the Mississippi governor's race. I just want to make the point. This was a blowout 4 years ago. It's still a big race and a big win, big lead for the Republican candidate there tonight. But everything, even in the places where they're winning, it seems a little harder for Republicans during the Trump years.
Thank you very much, Mr. John King. Appreciate that. I want to discuss all of this now with the former Virginia governor, Terry McAuliffe, and CNN political commentator Scott Jennings. Gentlemen, fascinating evening. I'm sure you both will agree. Governor, I'm going to start with you. The Democrats are having a really big night in Virginia. They flipped both the Senate and the House tonight. How did they do it?
Well, Don, this was a huge night for us. This is the first time in 26 years since 1993 that the Democrats have controlled the House, the Senate, and the governor's mansion. It's a huge win for us. Democrats ran on issues that people cared about, lowering prescription drug prices, investing in education. Donald Trump was humiliated tonight. He was humiliated in Kentucky, where he went down in campaign and he lost the governorship. He was humiliated here in Virginia. He couldn't even come to Virginia. We're 1.4 miles from the White House, and he couldn't even step foot in the Commonwealth of Virginia. It was a big night for us, the first time in 26 years. You look at Virginia, you look at Kentucky, and you look at the votes we got in Mississippi. It's a tough night for Donald Trump. It's a good night for Democrats. Why? Because we lead in on the issues, fighting on prescription drug prices, fighting on the issues of economics, growing the economy, investing in education. Great night for Democrats.
Scott, it's a bit of a smirk there when the governor was speaking. When he said that Donald Trump, I think he said, was humiliated. You disagree with that.
Well, obviously, Democrats did great in Virginia. Over here in Kentucky, where I'm sitting, Republicans had a perfectly fine night. There were a lot of races on the ballot for state constitutional office, from attorney general in a race that Donald Trump personally got involved in, all the way down to Secretary of State, auditor, ag commissioner. Republicans swept every single race on the ballot except governor, which it looks like the Democrats are going to win that race. Bevin's not conceding. We had a branding issue here in Kentucky, but it had nothing to do with Trump or the Republican Party. It had everything to do with Matt Bevin, who had, in fact, become exceedingly personally unpopular. But the rest of the Republican ticket was running around 60%. And so it looks to me like Bevin had his own problems, but Trump, having endorsed the other candidates in Kentucky who did fine, I think had a perfectly fine night.
Let me ask you this, but Trump was very active in that governor's race. They're holding a rally for Bevin in Lexington last night. This is what the Trump campaign manager, Bat Parscale, had to say about tonight's election. He said, President Trump's rally helped 5 of 6 Kentucky Republicans win clear statewide victories. The president just about dragged Governor Matt Bevin across the finish line, helping him run stronger than expected in what turned into a very close race at the end. A final outcome remains to be seen. The message, I mean, it's not our fault. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they are saying it's not their fault because Bevin had real popularity issues here. He touched an issue that got him in trouble, which was our state pension system, specifically teacher pensions. And although I think it was a correct idea to try to reform the pensions, the way he went about it, his bedside manner, some of the things, some of the language and rhetoric he used about the teachers, it wasn't good, and it didn't help him. Now, that didn't apply to other Republicans who ran much better races and all ran very close to Donald Trump. The Attorney General's race here, millions of dollars were spent in that race by Democrats and Republicans. Donald Trump personally got involved in that race as well. Daniel Cameron, the new AG, got 58% of the vote. So I really do believe this is confined to Governor Matt Bevin here and his personal popularity issues. They did have a big rally last night, and he did get personally involved for Bevin. But I have to say, I think if Trump hadn't come, Bevin would have not have gotten within 4,600 votes. I think he was destined to lose by several more points.
Governor, are there lessons for Democrats in these races? The Kentucky candidate was a centrist.
Yeah, I lost audio for a few minutes, but I'm now back. I can tell you the idea that the Republicans lost the Kentucky governor's race is astounding. This is a state that Donald Trump carried by 30 points, and there is no way Scott or any Republican can try and make this look good. They lost big tonight in Kentucky. They lost the governorship, the most important statewide race. They lost in Virginia, both chambers, the first time since 1993. This is a repudiation of Donald Trump and his policies, and this bodes very well for him as we go into 2020. People want to see Democrats in control. They see the success the Democrats have had here in Virginia. They want to take it to the next level, but there's no other way to say this. Bad night for Donald Trump, losing the Kentucky governorship, a closer race for the governorship in Mississippi, and literally crushed in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Bad night for Donald Trump. He was humiliated tonight.
Let me get you to talk more, Scott, about the Virginia legislature, because Democrats have taken control of both chambers there, the Senate and the House of Delegates. I mean, how do you read that? It's not a good night for Republicans in Virginia.
Oh, absolutely true. And look, Republicans didn't do well. They didn't obviously do well in the elections in Virginia last time around either, when Ed Gillespie lost the governor's race. And so that state is trending away from the Republican Party. I mean, it used to be a state that we kind of counted on in presidential elections. It doesn't look like it's going to be in play in 2020. So I think that we have these states that are basically trending blue, that are continuing to go that direction, and we have states that are trending red. Trump tends to be popular there. So it doesn't feel like we have that many. Some of these old school purple states like Virginia just seems to have drifted away from the Republicans, at least for the present time. So I wouldn't profess to know as much about Virginia politics as. Oh, absolutely. Look, it is concerning, except it still doesn't shut off all the avenues of Donald Trump to get reelected. I mean, Virginia is not Pennsylvania, Michigan, or Wisconsin. Virginia is certainly not look like a lot of the other states that Trump won and would need to win to get to 270 votes. But yeah, of course, I'm a big tent Republican. I want to be able to compete everywhere. I'm sure McAuliffe would like to be able to compete in a lot of states where Democrats can't campaign either, but that's not the nature of our politics.
Let me ask you about McConnell, and then I'll bring the governor back in. How do you think Mitch McConnell is going to handle this? I mean, he's up for re-election as well, trying to navigate impeachment. Yeah. Does he have to think twice now?
No. Number one, McConnell was most.
This is a bad night for Mitch McConnell. This is a bad night for Mitch McConnell. So his home state, they lost the governorship, which is the most important race you have in the state, because the governor runs your state. He is the most important person in your state, in Kentucky, and they lost that tonight. And Scott talks about, it's trending away from the Republicans. I'll tell you why here in Virginia. When I became governor, I inherited the biggest deficit in the history of the state from the Republicans. I left the biggest surpluses, record job creation, record investment in education. The Republicans spent their time on anti-women, anti-LGBT, anti-environment, pro-gun. You know what? That message doesn't work here in Virginia, and it doesn't work anywhere else in the country. They're not only losing Virginia, they're losing America, because they're not fighting on the issues that matter to the American people every single day. Lowering prescription drug prices, infrastructure, job creation. They're out of the game on this. It's not just Virginia. They got a problem in this country.
Scott, your look said it all. That's got to be the last word, because I'm out of time. You disagree, I'm sure. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Governor.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Don.
A big night for Democrats in Kentucky and Virginia. What should Republicans take from all this, with election night 2020 just 1 year away? Anthony Scaramucci weighs in next.
What's this?
Cindy, that cold's gonna keep you up all night, and tomorrow you're gonna be a zombie.
Forget that. I'm taking a new nighttime cold medicine.
Ah, there's nothing new.
Afraid so. New Mucinex Night Shift Cold and Flu fights my worst symptoms so I can sleep great and wake up human.
So you don't want to be a zombie?
No, I've got to work tomorrow.
Don't eat me. I taste terrible.
New Mucinex Night Shift Cold and Flu. Uniquely formulated to fight your worst symptoms so you can sleep great and wake up human.
Hey, look, the elf on the shelf.
Shh. I think he's trying to tell us something. Say, I think he's trying to tell us to spread joy. Like those IHOP jelly cakes and Oh What Funnel cakes. And that kids eat free. All for a limited time.
What?
Back it up.
Back it up. IHOP, limited time.
The Elf on the Shelf menu is only at IHOP, so be good for pancake's sake.
Jim?
Yeah, what's up, man?
You know this is our house, right?
Oh, no worries, it's cool. I'm wearing my Tommy Johns. I am totally comfortable.
When we founded Tommy John, Tom was obsessed with how to make underwear truly comfortable.
I was done with the pinching, the bunching, the riding up, and the constant need for adjustment. So we reimagined comfort through fabric, fit, and function.
We use soft, breathable, lightweight fabric with 4 times the stretch of your current underwear, so it moves with you, not against you.
Which means it comes with a no wedgie guarantee.
We made stay-put waistbands that never dig and stretch where you need it. We made a women's line so comfortable you'll never want to wear anything else. They never pinch, bunch, or roll and are made with lightweight, breathable fabrics, so there are no visible panty lines and, of course, no wedgies. Guaranteed.
I have checked, I have asked friends, can you see this? They don't see it.
It's like you're naked, which is awesome because I like to be naked, so it works well.
You could slingshot this thing. Look at the stretch on this baby.
I haven't picked a wedgie in a year.
No more butt picking, done.
It is the most breathable underwear I've ever had.
Just try one, you won't go back.
Go to TommyJohn.com right now to see all that Tommy John has to offer. From the most comfortable and breathable underwear on the planet to the most luxurious loungewear and clothing you've ever felt. Use the promo code on the screen and we'll give you 20% off your first order. And for every order, we'll ship it to your door for free. Plus, we offer a best pair guarantee. If you don't love your first pair, you'll get a full refund. So log on to TommyJohn.com and use the promo code on your screen for 20% off your first order. Tommy John, no adjustment needed. That's TommyJohn.com. Log on now.
Seriously?
Seriously comfortable.
I see you found the snacks.
Delicious. I need this recipe.
Everyone thinks I made them, but it's actually decon. What was that? Judy?
Decon. Mice love it. To death.
When did it become okay for men to be lazier, softer, weaker? Get Ageless Male with ingredients that promote free testosterone, muscle size with workouts, and your libido. Get back to greatness with Ageless Male.
With the money I've made on Poshmark, I've been able to pay for all our family's vacations.
I could pay for my wedding just on what I've made from Poshmark.
I've made over $10,000 and I was able to buy my new car.
Download the free Poshmark app now.
Press start and consider the job finished. Finish Quantum's 3-chamber detergent works with Bosch's precision wash technology to clean, degrease, and shine every dish, every load for a sparkling clean from Bosch to finish.
Well, here's our breaking news. Major upset in Kentucky's governor's race. Democrat Andy Beshear declaring victory over incumbent Republican Matt Bevin in that state that Donald Trump won by 30 points in 2016. Joining me now is President Trump's former White House Director of Communications, Mr. Anthony Scaramucci. Good evening, sir.
It's not a good evening, Don. It's a great evening.
What's your takeaways? Are you surprised by this race in Kentucky?
Yeah, I was definitely surprised by it. Remember, the president went down there a couple of days ago. He said, this is all about me. Of course, everything's all about him. And so you got to vote for Governor Bevin, send a message to everybody, and they did send a message. And if you look at the voting, it's a clear repudiation of Trumpism. So that's a great message for
Let's
Republicans.
listen to what this is the president talking about Bevin last night.
You're sending that big message to the rest of the country. It's so important. You got to get your friends. You got to vote because If you lose, it sends a really bad message. It just sends a bad, and they will build it up. Here's the story. If you win, they're going to make it like ho-hum. And if you lose, they're going to say Trump suffered the greatest defeat in the history of the world. This was the greatest. You can't let that happen to me.
Well, Trump won Kentucky by 30 points, as I said, and then 2016, Brad Parscale, that was in 2016. Brad Parscale is saying tonight that Trump almost dragged Bevin across the finish line. But you heard what he said. They'll say
that. Was he going to say that he didn't help him?
Yeah.
But let's be fair to the president. Maybe he did help him. Maybe he was going to lose by 15 points, and maybe some Trump supporters came out. I have no idea. But the bottom line is, look at what happened in Virginia. Look at what happened in Kentucky. Look at what happened with Ambassador Sondland today. Every day is a bad day for the president. And so if you're a stock market investor like I have been for 30 years and you're watching the differential and you're actually watching the chart of descent of Trump's presidency, it's very, very bad for him, and it's compounding. And
but the markets, I mean, despite all the chaos that's going on
the stock market's
far,
being levitated by the Federal Reserve. You've had 3 cuts by the Federal Reserve, and they're also purchasing assets now. But I'm just using a stock market metaphor and analogy to explain what's going on with the president. Last month, he had a very bad month. He went from 43% impeach and remove to 49. That's a 15% increase. And so next month, we're into the mid-50s, and then the month after that, we're into the low 60s. It's going to be very, very bad for the Republicans. And the Republicans are now nervous now. Those congressmen...
That's what I was going to ask you. Are they going to begin to distance themselves from this president?
No, not yet. Not yet, because that's what I was trying to say last night. It's a whole David Koresh, bonding and cult-like behavior. He shames people that leave him. He'll out them on Twitter, he'll bully them, and they're very fearful of him. Okay, and their lives rely on this guy in many ways. And so what will happen, though, they're going to want to keep the Senate. They're going to say, okay, the White House is probably gone if we go with President Trump. I don't think they have the bravery to do what needs to be done, is to seek his removal and to get him replaced by a qualified, functioning adult. Okay, it could be any Republican in good standing, frankly. And so they're not willing to do that. And so they're going to probably lose the White House next year, but they're going to want to keep the Senate. So they're going to start to disavow themselves from him.
Well, I'm wondering if it's starting to weigh on Republicans, because if you look at the reception that the president gets publicly when he's not at a rally, right? If you look at how Republicans continue to support this president, but then you see what's happening in Kentucky and Virginia, what have you, is this going to begin to weigh on Republicans and enough to distance themselves from the president?
I do believe that. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen right away, but I do think you're now, like I said, at 49%, goes to 50, goes into the low 60s, then it's clearly going to happen. Also, again, every week is a worse week for the president. Every single week. Next week, we've got the Anonymous book coming out. And the anonymous person is promising to use the president's own words in describing his aberrant and unlawful behavior inside the White House. And so, I don't know, is that going to be a good week for the president, Don? I predict that it won't be. And then the following week will be worse than that. And so that's what we're watching right now. And this was a big, big blow for the Republicans, particularly in Kentucky. Come on,
Yeah.
that's a fairly red state. Senator McConnell's up for re-election next year. I like Senator McConnell. I've been a donor in his campaigns before. I know his wife very well, like her a great deal. And
But are you disappointed by his actions lately?
Well, how could you not be?
Yeah.
Okay, because at the end of the day, you got to take the country and patriotism over party. And so I'm a little disappointed in that. But he's going to want to win that re-election. It's his last go-around, likely, as a senator. And he's not going to want to be in the minority as a senator. And he just lost the great state of Kentucky. Yeah. So to me, I think they're going to start to explain to the president that it's sort of over. And if they can do this by March, it'll be very, very good for the Republican Party, because the Democrats have lurched so far to the left that, they could still win.
John Kasich was just on saying this shows you that Democrats can win if they run a moderate Democrat.
Yeah, exactly.
He believes that the country is center left, center right. I don't know if
exactly. Well, I watched that.
And everything else is noise, pretty much.
Look, he is a very common sense oriented guy, and he's been around a long time. And so just a moderate, functioning adult will beat President Trump next year.
You have said that Republicans don't speak very highly of this president behind closed doors.
Well, we both know that's true.
Yeah, but so are the results a reflection of that disconnect? Because you get all the presidents of people who, these are your words, you said the cult-like, you said it was David Koresh sort of bonding, right? The people who will never say anything.
You're watching the same stuff that I'm. I mean, is it just
no,
my
but
words?
You're the person.
Brave analysis
I'm asking the
of
questions.
The thing, okay, all right? You know it's like
so
that.
this is a disconnect.
Like
you
that.
think this is a disconnect between the sort of...
Yeah, I think what's happening now is that it's started to break through. So they're looking at people that are fairly rational and well thought out, thorough people, analyze the situation and say, okay, wait a minute, a lot of the stuff that's being said, whether it's here on your show or other shows, is actually logically true. And the president's lies are like so far off the chart now, they start to question themselves. And once the cognitive dissonance kicks in, they just need a little bit of affirmation. You know, I've been spending a lot of time reading about deprogramming. Okay, so we're working it very hard. Okay, I don't think the president understands or his campaign team understands how much damage has been done since August in various swing states and in various public opinion polls about how aberrant the president's behavior is and how there is literally an awakening going on around the nation. And this should be a signal to them tonight.
Deprogramming.
Deprogramming.
You're reading my mind.
Yeah.
I see a lot of that happening lately.
No, you don't need to be deprogrammed. You look pretty rational.
No, I'm not talking about me, but I do see a lot of people who would not say
no more.
And now they're saying no more.
They're saying no more. Yeah, it's enough now. And they know. I mean, he knows. And by the way, he's going to be cornered. He'll be tweeting like a raving lunatic tomorrow, when he'll be self-congratulating himself
he'll figure out.
Spinning it and doing all this nonsense. People are tired of it now. You know, there's Trump fatigue out there, Donna. You saw it tonight. It's a great night for America.
Thank you very much. Always
good to be here.
See you.
Thank you.
A lot more in the breaking news. A big night for Democrats declaring victory in the Kentucky governor's race, flipping both chambers in Virginia. What does all this tell us about 2020? We'll discuss.
You've tried so many moisturizers, but one blows them all out of the water. Hydro Boost with hyaluronic acid to plump skin cells so it bounces back. Neutrogena. And for body, Hydro Boost Body Gel Cream.
Yoo-hoo! Liz! Rob! Cough if you nerds are in here.
Shh. I took Mucinex TM for my phlegmy cough.
What about Rob, the king of dry, scratchy coughs?
It's got 2 medicines in one and lasts 12 hours.
12 hours? Who studies that long? I never studied a day in my life, and I turned out fine. Put me down, lady. Watch the sign. Oof. Ow! That was the corner. Ow!
Only Mucinex DM relieves wet and dry coughs for 12 hours with 2 medicines in one pill.
These folks don't have time to go to the post office. They use Stamps.com. All the services of the post office, only cheaper. Get a 4-week trial plus postage and a digital scale. Go to Stamps.com/TV and never go to the post office again.
The problem with traditional cotton sheets is that they trap heat and moisture. That's not how you get a great night's sleep. So we invented Chic's Performance Sheets. As elite athletes, we personally experienced how technical fabrics improve athletic performance. So we applied that same technology to bed sheets. We created revolutionary sheets, which can do all the things that cotton can't.
Before Chic's, I slept warm and sometimes a little sweaty at night. And now with Chic's, I stay at the perfect temperature all night long.
In this steam demonstration, you can see how Chic's breathes 10 times better than cotton, releases heat, and wicks moisture to keep you dry as you sleep. Cotton will never do that. We all sweat a little bit when we sleep. Chic's quickly moves moisture away from your body and will keep you dry. Cotton won't.
The moisture wicking technology in Chic's keeps me cool all nights where I don't wake up in the middle of the night with that damp bed.
Chic's are easy to clean and wrinkle-free, straight from the dryer to your bed. In this stretch and fit demonstration, you can see just how much Chic's stretches and how it will conform to fit any size bed, no matter how thick the mattress. Cotton definitely can't do that.
Chic's are as soft as you can imagine. They're just incredible. I've never felt a sheet that soft before.
We're proud of what people are saying about Chic's. Our bed sheets are so unique that they're patented. Only Chic's can say that. We guarantee Chic's will be the best sheets you'll ever own.
Call or go to trychic's.com now to sleep better every night. Order your Chic's Performance Sheet Set in your choice of size and color. For a limited time, you'll get 25% off when you use the promo code on your screen, plus 2 additional pillowcases at no cost. That's a total savings of up to $100. Act now to get free shipping. Sleep on Chic's for 30 nights, and if you're not satisfied, we'll give you a full refund. There's no risk. Call or go online now and see how Chic's deliver the ultimate deep sleep experience. Sleep cool, sleep dry, sleep comfortable. Chic's.
You know that I will be the light to always be there at
your side.
10 ordinary people doing extraordinary things, making the world an extraordinary place. Vote now for the 2019 CNN Hero of the Year. Vote for your favorite hero or heroes up to 10 times a day, every day at cnnheroes.com. Tomorrow, actress Jane Fonda joins Dawn, an activist for decades. She's still at it. See why she's spending her days protesting on Capitol Hill and her nights locked up behind bars. CNN tonight. Live tomorrow, 10 Eastern.
Hey, Luke, wake up. You fell asleep again.
Why do I always fall asleep on the bus after school? Why am I so tired?
That's what we always wondered. But then he was diagnosed with narcolepsy, so he was more than tired. Narcolepsy can affect anyone, children and adults. We waited too long to take action, but you don't have to.
Visit morethantired.com now. Learn about the 5 symptoms of narcolepsy, take the narcolepsy symptom screener, and find a sleep specialist. Don't wait. Visit morethantired.com today.
Live sports, pre- and post-game action, and more. All controlled by your voice.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
So with some breaking news on election night, Democrat Andy Beshear declaring victory in the Kentucky governor's race. So what does this mean for 2020 with the election now just a year away? Let's discuss. Tulu Olorunipa is here, Matt Lewis, Alice Stewart. Hello, one and all. Surprising what happened in Kentucky, right? How big of a blow is this race for Republicans? For you first, Tulu.
Well, Republicans were definitely watching this race closely. The president went down there and had a rally. It is a number, the latest in a large number of governorships that have flipped from Republicans to Democrats. And, you know, several Republicans have pointed out that the lower ticket ballots all went in favor of the Republicans, but there's nothing as important as a governor's race. And this was a key state that the president was watching very closely. He had gone down to hold a rally for the incumbent. Having an incumbent kicked out in the year before a presidential election is not a positive sign for Republicans. There's no way to split the apple on that. But it does appear that Republicans have something that they can point to in some of those lower ticket races. But losing the governorship is going to be tough for the president, tough for Republicans to stomach having a Democrat there for the next 4 years who can do a number of things with his executive authority. And the fact that health care was on the ballot, the fact that education was on the ballot, and the Republican governor was kicked out, it's something that should send chills up the spine of a large number of Republicans who haven't been able to put forward a strong health care plan, despite the fact that they've been in control in Washington for the last 3 years.
So, Matt, David Gregory said earlier that Trump isn't on the ballot, but Trumpism is. What do you think? Are people fed up with all the chaos?
Yeah, totally. Look, that was a great line because Matt Bevin is very Trump-like. Now, I know Matt Bevin had some unique problems, some specific problems in Kentucky. Well, guess what? Donald Trump's got some unique problems, too. And Donald Trump went to Kentucky, campaigned. Matt Bevin tried to nationalize this race, tried to say that it was about impeachment. So I think this does matter. Something is going on. Don't want to overplay it. Something is afoot. And I think, look, the other side of the equation is Democrats, if we want to extrapolate this and try to make it mean something in 2020, that's always dangerous. But if we do, you got to do the other side of the equation, too. Democrats had a good candidate, someone who had seemed competent, family name, and someone who seems to be a moderate. I think that matters as well.
Yeah. Alice, listen, like Matt just said, people keep saying that Bevin had issues because he is controversial and disliked there. Does that sound like any other politician you might know who's going to be on the ballot in 2020, controversial and disliked?
Well, the difference between Bevin and Donald Trump is Donald Trump won
that state by 30 points, and Matt Bevin just lost. Look, Bevin was behind by about 10 points just a few weeks ago, and the fact that he lost by a few thousand points goes to show that the president's visit did help. Look, it's not right. He rallied the troops. And look, it's not a good look for a president that won a state in double digits to have to drag a defibrillator to the state the night before. It's not good. But as we've said several times this evening, Matt Bevin suffered from self-inflicted wounds, battling the teachers union, fighting against Medicaid expansion, fighting against the media, fighting against Republicans in his own state house was not helpful. And at the same time, Beshear is a popular candidate. He has a legacy in the state. And what he said in his his acceptance speech tonight was what he has been saying all along throughout his campaign, that he will work for the lost and the lonely and those left behind. And that's an important message, and that resonated with the people there. And the fact that he is popular and Bevin is so unpopular, that's the big factor. That's more of a takeaway than Trump. And look, the reality is Trump was not on the ticket, and Matt Bevin was, and that is what lost here. It's not. I don't see this specific race as a reflection on Donald Trump at all.
Okay, and so your Republican friends aren't saying that either. What are they saying tonight? Are they worried about what this means for Republicans, their chances in 2020?
The thing to take away from this is where we lost votes, where we lost pockets of support. And look, the Democrats did well in the urban areas and Louisville and Lexington and in Bowling Green, but they also gained ground in the suburbs, which is traditionally a Republican stronghold and certainly a Trump stronghold. So there is an opportunity to learn here that we need to double down and reinforce and engaging voters in those areas, because that is something that we cannot continue to see a trend like this taking into 2020. And this is something that the RNC, the Trump reelect, has the resources and the manpower, and now they have the motivation to double down in those suburban areas.
This is the big key.
I think, can you do me a favor?
Right.
Can you hold that to the other side of the break, and I'll bring you guys back over? Okay. I'll see you on the other side of the break. We'll continue this conversation. Don't go anywhere.
With the money I've made on Poshmark, I've been able to pay for all our family's vacations.
I could pay for my wedding just on what I've made from Poshmark.
I've made over $10,000, and I was able to buy my new car.
Download the free Poshmark app now.
Each year, Americans waste $21 billion by overpaying on car insurance. That's why I went to thezebra.com. Because while every company claims to save you money on car insurance, the Zebra shows you who actually can.
Compare car insurance for free at thezebra.com today.
When did it become okay for men to be lazier, softer, weaker? Get Ageless Male with ingredients that promote free testosterone, muscle size with workouts, and your libido. Get back to greatness with Ageless Male.
You know, Credit Karma can show us how we can improve our credit. It takes 2 minutes.
Then we can get out of this tiny apartment.
And into a house.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'll be in my office.
Download the free Credit Karma app now.
Jim? Yeah, what's up, man? You know this is our house, right?
Oh, no worries, it's cool. I'm wearing my Tommy Johns. I am totally comfortable.
When we founded Tommy John, Tom was obsessed with how to make underwear truly comfortable.
I was done with the pinching, the bunching, the riding up, and the constant need for adjustment. So we reimagined comfort through fabric, fit, and function.
We use soft, breathable, lightweight fabric with 4 times the stretch of your current underwear, so it moves with you, not against you.
Which means it comes with a no wedgie guarantee.
We made stay-put waistbands that never dig and stretch where you need it. We made a women's line so comfortable you'll never want to wear anything else. They never pinch, bunch, or roll, and are made with lightweight, breathable fabrics, so there are no visible panty lines, and of course, no wedgies. Guaranteed.
I have checked, I have asked friends, can you see this? They don't see it.
It's like you're naked, which is awesome because I like to be naked, so it works well.
You could slingshot this thing. Look at the stretch on this baby.
I haven't picked a wedgie in a year.
No more butt picking, done.
It is the most breathable underwear I've ever had.
Just try one. You won't go back.
Go to TommyJohn.com right now to see all that Tommy John has to offer. From the most comfortable and breathable underwear on the planet to the most luxurious loungewear and clothing you've ever felt. Use the promo code on the screen and we'll give you 20% off your first order. And for every order, we'll ship it to your door for free. Plus, we offer a best pair guarantee. If you don't love your first pair, you'll get a full refund. So log on to TommyJohn.com and use the promo code on your screen for 20% off your first order. Tommy John, no adjustment needed. That's TommyJohn.com. Log on now.
Seriously?
Seriously comfortable.
You know that I will be the light to always be there at your side.
10 ordinary people doing extraordinary things, making the world an extraordinary place. Vote now for the 2019 CNN Hero of the Year. Vote for your favorite hero or heroes up to 10 times a day, every day at cnnheroes.com.
The UEFA Champions League.
The pressure to fight, the winter, the snow, the rain, the world at your palms, I'm trying to feel everything.
Oh, what a goal! Another glorious night in the Champions League!
Tomorrow, noon Eastern, stream every match on BR Live.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be. I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
In the human brain, billions of neurons play in harmony. For people with Parkinson's, some neurons change their tune, causing uncontrollable tremors. Now, Abbott technology can target those exact neurons, restoring control and harmony, once thought to be lost forever. The most personal technology is technology with the power to change your life.
Getting to the truth matters. Aaron Burnett out front, tomorrow night at 7 on CNN.
We have more breaking election news tonight. CNN projects Republican Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves will defeat Democratic Attorney General Jim Hood in the Mississippi governor's race. Back with me, Tolu Olorunipa, Matt Lewis, and Alice Stewart. So the Republicans won Mississippi, but what kind of night is this for Republicans when that's, the big success, especially considering that this is, much better margin for the Democrat than in the last race there? I'll ask that to you. What do you think, Tolu?
Well, as Alice said before the break, it's clear that Republicans are suffering in a couple of places that they're going to need to perform well if they're going to do well in 2020, including in the suburbs that they struggled in 2018. We're seeing that continuing in Virginia, where the suburbs have really fled from the Republican Party and Democrats were able to flip a couple of chambers there. Places that are in the Deep South, red, governor's race, which was a little bit of an aberration. But there are some signs, some warning signs for the Republican Party. There are some warning signs for the Democrats as well, and they're not doing so well in rural areas. But if Republicans continue to bleed some of these suburban votes, it's going to be difficult for them to win in a number of states that are either swing states or trending towards swing states. Even Texas has been one of the places where we've seen this so-called Texodus, where Republicans in suburbs have struggled to hold on to their seats, several retirements. So this night is not a good sign for Republicans who are trying to reverse some of the losses that they had in 2018.
Okay, so let's get back now to Kentucky and talk specifically about that. That was about Mississippi, but we did weave some Kentucky in there. Matt, you were saying on the other side of the break, you were ready to make a point before the break. What was it?
I think he just made my point, but let me just, it's an important one, so I think it bears repeating. And by the way, there was this New York Times Siena poll yesterday that I think is confirmed a bit by the results in tonight's elections. Basically, what you have is this polarization and really almost two Americas, right? So areas that are rural, places like Mississippi, Donald Trump actually probably does better than a normal Republican. But in Virginia, places like Texas, and places like Kentucky, there's a huge problem, and what we've seen is this suburban wipeout. If you are a college-educated person, you are much less likely to vote for Donald Trump than you used to be to vote for, say, Mitt Romney or John McCain. If you live in a rural area, you're still a Trump voter probably. The closer you get to a city, the more likely you are to not like Donald Trump. And so that you can pretty much go across the country and look at the map. Now, that's where this New York Times Siena poll gets interesting, right? Those states that really matter, the Electoral College states, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, those sort of states, that's where I think Kentucky should be worrisome to Donald Trump, because these are states that are still, they're Rust Belt states, they're working class states, probably not a huge percentage of college-educated college graduates there, but all Donald Trump has to do, he won by like 70,000 votes. He won 3 states, I think, by 70,000 votes. So the margins are so tight. If you look at what happened to Matt Bevin, it has to worry you if you're Donald Trump.
Yeah. Which of the Democratic candidates might be getting another look after tonight's results?
I look at 2020 different than these individual governors' races, but the reality is when you have someone like Bevin winning or losing to someone, the Democratic candidate there who was a much more moderate candidate, that should send a huge signal to the Democratic Party that people will resonate towards someone who is more moderate and not far to the left. I think that's a huge takeaway for the Democrats coming out of Kentucky, because this is someone who was certainly not as progressive as a lot of the Democratic candidates we're seeing in.
Donald Trump went there. Matt Bevin tried to make this about impeachment, but you had a candidate who's competent, who is moderate, and
also has name recognition as well. That helps.
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Thank
you all. I appreciate your time. Big developments in the impeachment inquiry. Gordon Sondland, ambassador to the EU and a $1 million Trump donor, now admitting there was a quid pro quo after all.
SkinSend number 17. Too many after parties. New Neutrogena Bright Boost with dullness-fighting neoglucosamine. Boost cell turnover by 10 times for instantly brighter skin. Bright Boost, Neutrogena.
So I can buy from Enterprise Car Sales, and you'll take any trade-in.
That's right.
Great. There you go.
Well, it does need to be a vehicle.
But I need this out of my house. With fair, transparent value for every trade-in, Enterprise makes it easy.
When you need to see up close, do you squint and strain? And without enough light, it's more of a pain. Then you need Mighty Sight, the new LED lighted magnifying eyewear that makes detailed tasks easy to see, ultra bright and hands-free. Inspired by the eyewear worn by surgeons, Mighty Sight gives you instant 160% magnification and brings prescription labels up close and clear. Look closer. The high-definition optical lenses utilize new magnification technology, while 2 built-in LEDs provide maximum illumination. With Mighty Sight, you'll see intricate detail with vision as sharp as an eagle. Enjoy pastime hobbies with laser-like clarity, or complete DIY projects without any eye strain. No more juggling magnifiers or clumsy flashlights. Mighty Sight fits comfortably over your prescription glasses and are rechargeable, so they're always ready when you are. Perfect for reading, knitting, arts and crafts, and more. Best of all, the LED lights follow your view with pinpoint accuracy, so you won't disturb others around you.
I could never read the tiny print on my vitamins, but now with Mighty Sight, it's as clear as a bell.
Don't give up on detailed tasks. Just reach for Mighty Sight. There's nothing like them on the market today. Act now to get your LED magnification eyewear, Mighty Sight, with charging cord for just $19.99. But wait, we'll include this protective carrying case free. And here's a mighty good deal. We'll send you a second pair. Keep one in the nightstand and one in a kitchen drawer. Just pay a separate fee. That's 2 sets for one low price. See what you've been missing and get up close and clear with Mighty Sight. Call now.
To order Mighty Sight, call 1-800-971-4558 or go online at buymightysite.com. Don't delay. Call 1-800-971-4558 or go to buymightysite.com. Order now.
In the last year, there were 3 victims of cybercrime every second. When a criminal has your personal information, they can do all sorts of things in your name. Criminals can use ransomware, spyware, or malware to gain access to information, like your name, your birthday, and even your social security number.
That's why Norton and LifeLock are now part of one company, providing an all-in-one membership for your cyber safety that gives you identity theft protection, device security, a VPN for online privacy, and more. And if you have an identity theft problem, we'll work to fix it with our $1 million protection package.
There are new cyber threats out there every day. So protecting yourself isn't a one-time job, it's an ongoing need. Now is the time to make sure that you have the right plan in place. Don't wait.
Norton 360 with LifeLock. Use promo code GET25 to save 25% off your first year and get a free shredder with annual membership. Call now to start your membership or visit lifelock.com/TV.
What's this?
Cindy, that cold's gonna keep you up all night. And tomorrow, you're gonna be a zombie.
Forget that. I'm taking a new night medicine.
There's nothing new.
Afraid so. New Mucinex Night Shift Cold and Flu fights my worst symptoms so I can sleep great and wake up human.
So you don't want to be a zombie?
No, I've got to work tomorrow.
Don't eat me. I taste terrible.
New Mucinex Night Shift Cold and Flu. Uniquely formulated to fight your worst symptoms so you can sleep great and wake up human.
Ouch! Pain hurts. Icing can help, but icing means you're stuck sitting in place. If you're one of the millions suffering from chronic pain, you need Pancakes, the first ever stick-on ice pack that sticks and stays. It's the easy way to ice, absolutely hands-free. So stop holding ice packs and stop being confined to your couch. Try Pancakes starting as
You know that I will be the light to always be there at your side.
10 ordinary people doing extraordinary things, making the world an extraordinary place. Vote now for the 2019 CNN Hero of the Year. Vote for your favorite hero or heroes up to 10 times a day, every day at cnnheroes.com.
This is Life with Lisa Lang, Sundays at 10 on CNN.
A key figure in the impeachment inquiry, changing his testimony to Congress and admitting there was a quid pro quo between the U.S. and Ukraine. Let's discuss now. Asha Rangappa is here, as well as Harry Litman. Good evening to both of you. Harry, we now have Ambassador Sondland's amended testimony. I just want to read the key part where he admits to a quid pro quo. He says, I now recall speaking individually with Mr. Yermak, where I said that a resumption of U.S. aid would likely not occur until Ukraine provided the public anti-corruption statement that we had been discussing for many weeks. There's the shakedown. What does this mean for President Trump, who says over and over again, no quid pro quo?
Yeah, it's a big one. It pretty much forecloses that argument, and it's coming here from a political partisan. To date, we've had the civil servants, who actually should be the most credible, but whom Trump has leapt to attack. But here's a guy firmly on Team Trump who was just caught in a lie. I don't think he became conscience-stricken. He huddled with his $1,000 an hour lawyers and realized he had to clean this up, and he did last Monday. And now he's stuck because in his previous testimony, when he said, I didn't do anything like this, he went on and on about how terrible and illegal it would be. So there's no way of trying to say, he did it, but it's not so bad. He really has to live with it now. He did his best to still keep Trump at arm's length and put it on Giuliani and be vague where Trump's concerned. But as for the facts, I think it's all she wrote.
Yeah, wow. Asha, wonder what you think, because you made an excellent point on Twitter about Sondland's testimony. and how they wanted a public announcement of the investigation. And here's part of that had you screaming from the rooftops. Okay, it says, okay, you do not know where that interview would have occurred. I don't, or on what network. I don't know, but something President Trump would obviously see. Okay, Fox on Tucker. The fact that the president wanted a public announcement, that would explain why this is so consequential, right?
Yes, and I think that's so important, is that what they really wanted was Zelensky to state publicly that he was going to be investigating the Bidens and the basis of the 2016 election interference. It wasn't a commitment to actually investigate, which would have, could have happened quietly, which is how normally these kinds of law enforcement things would happen. And why that's important, Don, is the purpose was to shape the perceptions of American voters, to make them believe that Ukraine had independently come to this conclusion that there was some reason, something suspicious to investigate. There was not going to be anything in the public statement that indicated that the U.S. played any role in that statement. So it's basically propaganda. This is a psyop, a way to influence, voters as we go into 2020. And by the way, the U.S. government cannot conduct that kind of psychological, propaganda operation. It's actually against the law. They can't do it to influence, media or political processes in the United States.
All right, so Harry, let's just be clear here. She's saying this was all for political gain that happened. But this revised testimony is coming from a Trump loyalist. Sondland donated $1 million to Trump's inaugural committee. Republicans seized on Sondland's no quid pro quo text message, right? But this changes things in a big way. And I watched people today who had said, well, Sondland said no quid pro quo the first time. And then today they tried to say that, oh, well, he's got credibility issues now. So this changes things in a big way, don't you think?
Yeah, I really do, and they're twisted, like a pretzel now. There's nothing on the other side, by the way, right? Witness after witness, Taylor, Hill have all substantiated what the whistleblower had to say. But now you did have Sondland trying to say nothing had happened. Of course, by the way, what a thing to forget. I mean, no one's going to believe that he just forgot it. When this happens with a witness, it just puts it in neon, quid pro quo, quid pro quo. And he's got more. It's clear from other witnesses that he's involved in towing this line earlier and later, July 10th, September 1st. And as to those, he just says, don't recall, don't recall, don't recall. But this one, he was stuck. He had to disavow it. And it means that there's basically no credible place now for Republicans to go as far as the facts. They're left with some kind of argument. Maybe it's not impeachable, maybe it's okay. But of course, Trump is insistent that he be defended on his substantive terms, which is it was a perfect call. And that's just not a plausible thing. Any politician who wants a future with credibility can say now.
Yeah. Hey, Asha, I've got 15 seconds. House investigators want the acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, to testify on Friday. What's the likelihood of that happening, and could this become part of the obstruction case?
I expect that they'll, invoke executive privilege, which is what they do for, everybody and their dog. But yes, I mean, I think the House has made clear that if they continue to try to stonewall, that those will become a part of the obstruction case if there's not a valid privilege underlying it or other reason to not come in.
Every day there's something in the impeachment inquiry and then on the election as well. 2020, a year away, and here we have it, a Democrat, the projected winner by the state Secretary of State and also by the one who is projected to have won, saying that he won the governor's race in a ruby red state. Thank you both, and thank you guys for watching. Our live coverage continues.
LG signature.
Introducing the Elf on the Shelf menu at IHOP, straight from the North Pole. With Jolly Cakes topped with shimmery elf sprinkles. Oh, what funnel cakes with powdered sugar. Merry Marshmallow Hot Chocolate. Or the holiday ham and sausage omelet. And kids eat free every day from 4 to 10 p.m. But it's only for good boys and girls. So be good for pancake's sake and try the Elf on the Shelf menu, only at IHOP.
Press start and consider the job finished. Finish Quantum's 3-chamber detergent works with Bosch's precision wash technology to clean, degrease, and shine every dish, every load for a sparkling clean from Bosch to finish.
These folks, they don't have time to go to the post office. They have businesses to grow, customers to care for, lives to get home to. They use Stamps.com. Print discounted postage for any letter, any package, anytime, right from your computer. All the amazing services of the post office, only cheaper. Get our special TV offer, a 4-week trial plus postage and a digital scale. Go to Stamps.com/TV and never go to the post office again.
We gotta get more space.
But how? Our credit's bad.
Go to Credit Karma. It takes 2 minutes to see how you could improve your credit. Then get a bigger house.
A bigger house sounds nice.
Download the free Credit Karma app now.
Attention passengers. Kim is now demonstrating her congestion.
Save it, Slimeball. I've upgraded to Mucinex.
Well, we still have 12 hours to Australia.
Mucinex lasts 12 hours, so I'm good. Now give me that.
Hey! No, I wanna talk!
You've reached your final destination.
What? Oof! Kim, no!
Only Mucinex has a patented tablet that lasts 3 times longer for 12 hours.
With the money I've made on Poshmark, I've been able to pay for all our family's vacations.
I could pay for my wedding just on what I've made from Poshmark.
I've made over $10,000 and I was able to buy my new car.
Download the free Poshmark app now.
Diamonds, the forever gift. The Jewelry Exchange has 1 carat certified for $1,790, 2 carat rings and studs $2,900, 2 carat certified $5,900. Thousands of GIA diamonds and mountings at insane prices, plus no interest for 12 months. The Jewelry Exchange Direct.
I see you found the snacks.
Delicious. I need this recipe.
Everyone thinks I made them, but it's actually Decon. What was that? Judy?
Decon. Mice love it. To death.
You know that I will be the light to always be there at your side.
10 ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Making the world an extraordinary place. Vote now for the 2019 CNN Hero of the Year. Vote for your favorite hero or heroes up to 10 times a day, every day at cnnheroes.com.
The door was left open. We all knew something was wrong.
The investigators knocked on every door.
Someone had her phone, and they were pretending to be her.
The Dead Wives Club, hosted by Lorraine Bracco, Sunday at 8 on HLN.
The bladder control aisle. You won't shop here again. Your private business is your own. The constant struggle is over. Now there's a better way. It's HDIS. We home deliver bladder control products. We understand how you feel. For over 25 years, we've home delivered to many of the 20 million Americans who deal with incontinence. We offer all brands. We pay shipping and use plain, unmarked boxes. If we can help you or someone you care for, call for your free product sample pack and $45 in money-saving coupons. Our counselors will help you choose the right product. And unlike stores, we're always in stock. You'll get what you need. Satisfaction guaranteed. HDIS, the better way. For your free sample pack with your free catalog, $45 in money-saving coupons, and free product samples, call 1-800-836-2517. That's 1-800-836-2517.
This is Life with Lisa Ling. Sunday at 10 on CNN.
Closed captioning brought to you by InventHelp. Call 1-800-591-4003.
Got an idea for an invention, but don't know what to do next? Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call today for free information.
Call 800-591-4003.
Big blue wins in ruby red states where power is shifting and what it means for 2020.
A big revision from a top witness in the impeachment probe, what Gordon Sondland suddenly recalled and how it wrecks the White House defense.
An arrest after 9 Americans were massacred in Mexico. The family says they were targeted because of past conflicts with drug cartels.
And we've all been thrown off by blind spots while driving. Now a teenager has a solution and a $25,000 prize for her work.
All right, that's cool.
Although I typically just ignore the blind spots. Welcome to the View.